back to Eva's Kitchen. I'm Eva and this is Eva's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making a chicken rice casserole. So here are the ingredients that we're going to be using. We have diced red and green bell peppers, chopped onions, and celery. We didn't put any garlic in this because we're going to use garlic powder. We're going to be using some Italian seasoning, a little bit of thyme, some complete seasoning, parsley, and cream of mushroom soup. Not all, but a little bit of it. And chicken broth. And we have a half a cup of half and half. And we have Colby jack cheese and mild cheddar cheese. And we have some butter, if I didn't already say that. And we have 1/4 cup of sweet peas. Now you can put any veggie or your choice in your casserole, whatever you like. And I have some pre-cooked white jasmine rice. And I had a little bit of leftover herb rice that I threw in here just to not be wasteful to go in the casserole. And early this morning, I baked some chicken thighs. I did 4 chicken thighs, so I chopped them up. So we have a 9 by 12 bacon dish. I buttered it with butter. And let's get started. Okay, I have my pan preheated with a tablespoon of olive oil. Now we're going to put in our aromatics, which is our red and green peppers, onions, and celery. Now you put as much onion, celery, and bell peppers to your taste. I only use a half of 2 stalks of celery, a half of onion, and I cut a half of bell pepper and a half of red pepper. So we're gonna saute them. I didn't put in fresh garlic because we're gonna be using garlic powder, fresh garlic powder. So I'm gonna let that cook down a little bit, let them saute in the olive oil. I'm gonna put a little butter in there to get them going, because we are gonna be making a roux to pour over the casserole. So everything in this pan here that we're using, a 1-pan dish, we're going to make the casserole. So we're gonna let the butter melt down. Okay, as you can see, our butter has melted. I'm gonna put in 1 tablespoon of flour and let it cook down. Take the rawness out of it. And I'm going to be putting 1/4 teaspoon of thyme. Sprinkle high, that way it gets all over your veggies. And you don't have to use as much. And we also gonna put in a half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Sprinkle high. We're gonna use a whole tablespoon of garlic powder. And a half a teaspoon of complete seasoning. That's all we're gonna put in, a little black pepper. I'm not gonna put any salt in this dish because the cheese has salt. And we're gonna put a little bit of cream of mushrooms mixed in the batter when we make the roux. And we're also gonna be using chicken broth that has salt in it. So I'm not gonna salt this dish. Now, I'm gonna let the veggies continue to cook and get a little softened. We're just marinating the vegetables down with the seasoning. So, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, our veggies has sauteed down a little bit. They're gonna do a little bit more cooking in the oven. So now I'm gonna put in a half a can of cream of chicken. Just a half a can for now. See where we are. That's about half. And I'm going to stir in the chicken broth. Okay, we have our chicken broth in, cream mushroom soup, a half a can. Now we're gonna put in our chicken. Gonna stir that in. And we're gonna add in our peas. And half and half. I'm not gonna let this cook a long time, no more than 5 minutes or so, just for all the ingredients to marry together for a minute. And then I'm gonna pour it over the rice and cheese and bake it. You can also make this same batter that we just did with chicken to make the casserole. If you use a pie crust, and that without putting the cheese in it, you make a chicken pot pie. So I'm gonna let that cook for a few minutes. I'm gonna put the lid over it and let it cook for a few minutes on medium high. While our batter and broth is cooking with the meat, the veggies and everything is cooking together down low, we're gonna go ahead. We have our pan nice and greased with some butter. Everything tastes good with butter. Remember, I had some cooked jasmine rice, and I had a little bit of leftover herb rice that I cooked the other day, so I just mixed it together. Keep from throwing it out. We don't waste anything in this house. So we're gonna put this at the bottom, a little bit at the bottom of the pan. And then I'm gonna gradually add in that mixture. And if I made too much, I'm gonna stir it and use it and make a chicken pot pie out of it. So we'll see. So let's put the rice in. Now you can layer any way that you choose to layer yours. You can put it in the pot with the rice and then bake it and put it in your casserole dish, and then put your cheese on it. So we're gonna leave that there, and then in a few minutes, we're gonna check on our chicken broth. And reason I didn't use a whole can of cream of mushroom soup, because of the sodium intake. And if you like yours creamy and more robust flavoring, use your whole can. There's no wrong or right way to do it. I just chose not to put the whole can in there. So I'm going to let this continue to cook. So I just wanted to show you how it was looking. Let it cook down. Now I might not have to use this whole pot of broth, but we'll see as I pour it over the rice, because I don't want to make it too wet. Because we're only going to bake it at 360 for 30 minutes till all the cheese melt through. Because remember, we cooked the chicken ahead of time. I bake my chicken, I season it to my taste, season with salt and pepper, seasoned salt, garlic powder, got onion powder, and complete seasoning. And I baked it in the oven on a rack for 45 minutes. Then I let it cool, and then I shredded it. So that's how you bake your chicken. Or you can buy a rotisserie chicken and shred it and use it. You don't have to necessarily use sweet peas. You can use broccoli, any vegetable of your choice. But I chose the peas because I'm not a broccoli eater. And always put your heavy cream in there or your half and half, because it makes it nice and rich. And remember, we didn't put any salt in this dish. Now I'm gonna take it off the stove, and we're gonna start to pour it over the rice. So let's get it. Okay, we got our mixture. So we're gonna take it and spoon it over my rice. Like I say, I don't waste anything in my home. If I don't use all of it, this would be, the next dish would be a chicken pot pie. My son and I had a joke once. He would say, "Today's spaghetti, Mom?" I said, "Yep." "Oh, what if we don't eat it all?" I said, "Tomorrow's taco day." And he would laugh. My producer is my daughter. Her name is April, with a Y. She's a nurse, and she does my filming and editing. So y'all get on her if I don't have a film out in 2 weeks, because I have to wait until she's not too busy, because she's working 12-hour shift as a nurse. And we're in the Carolinas, so their hands are full from the flood, the tornado, hurricane that came through. So, but she's doing a wonderful job, and I appreciate everything she does. And one day we're gonna introduce her to you guys, and I'm gonna hold the camera and let her do the taste testing. Look like we're gonna be able to use all of this. We're not gonna have any left for chicken pot pie. So see how simple and easy that was? It didn't take long. So I'm just gonna pour all this in here. No chicken pot pie for next week's dinner. And then I'm gonna top it with some cheese. But that looks good enough to eat now, doesn't it? You see why I didn't put all that cream of mushroom in there? You can use cream of chicken as well, if you like. And get all that juice out of there, because it looks like I might need a little bit more. Okay. I'll put this away. Now we're going to top it with some cheese. I have a Colby Jack. These are cubes. I'm just gonna tuck them in till they melt through. I have my oven preheated to 350, but I'm gonna bump it up to 365. I'm gonna nestle these Monterey Jack. Not Monterey Jack, I'm sorry, Colby Jack I'm using, Colby Jack. I had some cubes in there, so I decided to use them along with the mild cheddar. So we're just gonna sprinkle. This is another rich dish. And we can use this during the holidays as well. And if you live by yourself and you don't want to do a turkey, just make your chicken casserole. And you can eat off it a couple of days. Okay? Now, we're gonna put this in the oven and let it bake at I'm gonna put it at 365 for about 30 to 40 minutes, and we'll come back and check on it. Okay, I think it's time. Let's take a look. I hope I didn't overdo it, guys, because I started talking on the phone. Okay, look at there. Whew, it's piping hot. There it goes, our chicken rice casserole. Now, I didn't put any salt in here, but my taste tester told me that loves salt. My husband and my daughter, they say, Mom, you need to put a little more salt in it. So before you put it in the oven, make sure you taste it to see if it's salty enough for your family. But me, I have hypertension, so I try not to cook with a lot of salt. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell a friend, come back and see me. And I'm Eva, and this is Eva's Kitchen.